All right, Mr. Teleferro TV. I want to go back through this trade. See some people in my comment section. I want to explain why I believe who won this trade. Let's make this clear. Let me make this clear. I don't hate what Cleveland did. All right, so Cleveland got Jay Crowder. They got Isaiah Thomas. I think they're going to get the kid, whatever kid. And they got this pick from Brooklyn. Now, that pick from Brooklyn is big. Let's make that clear. That pick from Brooklyn that the Boston Celtics had, remember they got that in the Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett trade. That's a big deal. That pick is probably going to be number one. Brooklyn got D'Angelo Russell this offseason, and they got Allen Crabbe. They're going to be pretty bad this year. That'll be a top three, probably the number one pick next year. So even if Cleveland loses LeBron James in offseason, or maybe even loses Isaiah Thomas in offseason next year, they'll both be free agents next summer. They'll have the number one pick. Maybe that's Michael Porter out of Mizzou. Shout out to him. But from a basketball standpoint, who's better? I really wasn't talking about who won the trade. I'm talking about who's better. The Boston Celtics, I don't care what you say. They have a better basketball team than the Cleveland Cavaliers. If you want to give the Cavs credit for landing that Brooklyn pick and getting somebody who's still a clutch guy in Isaiah Thomas, I'll give you that. You pretty much switched the fourth quarter player out with a fourth quarter player. Both Isaiah Thomas and Kyrie Irving are fourth quarter guys. They can light you up. Let's make this clear, though. If the Cavs get to the finals against Golden State, you now do realize that Steph could probably guard Isaiah Thomas by himself now, right? And if they did go to Klay Thompson like they do in the finals against Kyrie, you do realize that Klay Thompson is a whole foot taller than Isaiah Thomas, right? And they still haven't addressed the shooting guard position. J.R. Smith's still their shooting guard in Cleveland, which would mean Steph still is going to be pretty free on offense because he's not going to have to defend JR. Now, you look at that backcourt in Cleveland, Isaiah Thomas and J.R. Smith, a lot of frustrated nights for LeBron James. That's all I'm going to say about that. Now, look at Boston. A lot of us believe they should have pulled the trigger on Paul George. A lot of us believe they should have pulled the trigger on Carmelo Anthony. A lot of us believe they should have pulled the trigger on Jimmy Butler. But look at their offseason. I liked everything they did outside of trading Jimmy Butler. Excuse me, trading Avery Bradley. But look at their offseason. Their starting lineup will be this. Regardless of what y'all say, put these starting lineups next to each other. Kyrie Irving at the point. At the 2, you can go Marcus Smart or Jaylen Brown. All right, so let's just say they go Marcus Smart. Kyrie and Marcus in the backcourt. Marcus can defend. At the 3, you go Gordon Hayward. At the 4, you go Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown. I'd probably go Tatum, a little bit taller than Brown. And Al Horford at the 5. And you got Jaylen Brown coming off the bench. You look over at Cleveland. They got Isaiah Thomas at the 1. Kyrie's better than Isaiah. At the 2, they got J.R. Smith. I might want to take Marcus Smart over J.R. Smith at this point in their career. Of course, LeBron is better than Gordon Hayward. He'll still destroy Gordon Hayward. At the 4, this is where it gets interesting. Kevin Love and Jason Tatum. All right, remember, in the finals, the problem with Kevin Love is you couldn't keep him on the court because he couldn't defend Kevin Durant, obviously, and he couldn't defend Draymond Green. At the 4, Jason Tatum versus Kevin Love. Look, Jason Tatum, from what I've seen in the Summer League, that brother, he takes a lot of shots, a lot of bad shots, but he looks NBA ready. And at the 5, you got Al Horford versus Tristan Thompson. Even though Tristan Thompson is not going to go out like a sucker, Al Horford's a better basketball player than Tristan Thompson. Point blank, period. How are you going to argue to me that Cleveland has a better team than Boston? I'll wait. Comment section. I'll be posted looking. Now, as a trade, I'm not going to kill Dan Gilbert for making this trade because they got some security if they lose LeBron next year. They got that number 1 pick, which is probably what it's going to be. Brooklyn's going to be bad. Like I said earlier. Let's make this clear, though. Let's be 100% honest about this. LeBron has himself to blame a little for this. There was a trade. I said this in the previous video. There was a trade on the table. All LeBron had to do was say, yes, I'll sign long term. Dan Gilbert, the Cleveland Cavaliers owner, put together a trade right before the draft. It would have meant he would have got Eric Bledsoe and Paul George. Yes, both of them would have been a Cavalier. Kyrie would have been traded. Dan Gilbert brought this trade to LeBron. He said, look, we'll even be able to keep Kevin Love in this trade. Look, do you want this trade? I can get you this trade today. We got to trade Kyrie, but I'll bring you back 2 all-star talents. All you got to do is sign a long-term extension. So we would know that this trade won't be something that we regret. We're giving our future. We're going to have to give away some picks. We're giving away Kyrie. We need to know that you're going to be here long-term. Eric Bledsoe got a lot of years on the deal. You know what I mean? Like, what? Who else you got? Paul George. We're going to want to sign him long-term. We don't want these guys. We don't want to have contend for championships. If we don't got you, we don't have a chance of contending for a championship, even with Eric Bledsoe, Paul George. We need you to sign long-term, and then we can start to sign some of these pieces long-term. LeBron said, I'm not signing long-term. LeBron got to hold a little bit of that L. Got to hold a little bit of that L. That ruffled feathers with Kyrie Irving, and he wanted out. I heard there's some more stuff going on behind the scenes. I'd rather not speak on it. But as a team standpoint, there is absolutely no way, as a person who studied the game of basketball, I could look you in your eye and definitively tell you that Cleveland is coming out of the Eastern Conference anymore. I think Boston is a better basketball team, period. And I don't even know if Danny Ainge is done yet. The Boston Celtics win. The Boston Celtics definitely win. I'm not going to call the Cavs losers, but they didn't win like the Celtics did. When you get a guy of Kyrie's talent, you say you can say he wish-washy, you're a crybaby, he ain't a man for how he handled that situation. You can say he need to grow his hair back in because his face ain't looking right without the beard. The brother is a hooper. You bring that type of talent in, the same summer you get Gordon Hayward, man, Boston Celtics look like they're getting out of the East. That's my opinion on it. I want to know yours. Subscribe to my channel for more exclusive content like this. If I gave you this story first, you got to subscribe to my channel. It's only right. I'm out.
I want to salute you, homie, you know, for building your own thing and doing your own thing, creating your own platform, your own website.
I got one life to live out my dreams, and I'm giving this thing all I got. I interview celebrities. I talk sports. I represent the culture.
Right now, you're turning up on MrTaliaferro.com, shawty.